I was born in this house. My sister Jean Piggott never forgave me because I stopped her from going to a movie that night. I'm told. I came into the world. I was born upstairs, right by accident, I think. But that was 85 years ago. This house is supposedly the oldest house in Ottawa. And Bain was a gentleman, a Scottish gentleman. They came over and they went into the farming of cattle. And they built this house back in 1828. I used to say, dear God, if I'm ever going to get married, please make him a Canadian. And I was working down in the States and I saw this tall gentleman walk in, you know, everything flips inside you. And he turned out to be from Edmonton. Oh boy, that was my future husband. Little did I know at that point that he was but that it worked out very well. And he said, let's go for a drive. And so we were actually at that point, I was working in California, in LA. And he took me for a drive up to Pasadena, which is just north of Los Angeles. And he proposed to me. And then I said yes. Two. I've Kelly, who is a year and a half, 18 months younger than Dawn. So there's Dawn and Kelly. Kelly is the youngest. It's just wonderful. I love them. I have an 8-year-old and a 4-year-old, and they're a joy. They were all here. They were here for supper last night, which was great. To Ryerson, and I was in the first year of the Hotel, Resort and Restaurant Administration. That was back in '52. Does that age me? Anyway, that's a long time ago. We had a great time. It was the first year, so we had a lot of fun. But from there, it moved into the industry of food, which I was glad to get to know more. That I came back to Ottawa. That was just quite by accident that I became a food editor. Well, a food writer for first of all, The Sun, a friend of mine who was the food editor, lifestyle editor. She phoned me up one day, and so I was able to help her with the recipes. I seemed to be able to get ideas for what she could write up. But then I'll never forget, an editor came to me. I had an editor because, by the way, I just found myself, I wasn't paid when I first went up to The Sun. I just was a helper. And so I started asking if you'd be a writer. And I was so touched by what Brian said to me when he said, you're one of my best writers that I have. And I was so, I never have to tell you what to write about because I want to write the story of people. It's people who are behind the food, and they're all alive. They're very important people because they all have families. And to get them to talk, that was my great thrill. I feel very deeply about food. I just want to get people back into the kitchen because there's something very essential about cooking because it draws on your senses. You gotta see it, you gotta hear it, you gotta see it, you gotta smell it, and you gotta taste it, but more than that, you gotta feel it.